MALIWAN Takedown is about to get introduced to the club because today I'm introducing you to my Amara MALIWAN build that's going to have everybody running scared. This is LaserBolt and welcome to today's video, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Amara MALIWAN build called the Claw, because it's just going to pretty much be grabbing everybody and just causing so much havoc in MALIWAN Takedown like you have no idea. So we took the build to test it out in our test grounds, which is Star 3000, which is we can get a very good representation of how effective the build is. And because we're going to be fighting a lot, mostly the majority of enemies we're going to be fighting in MALIWAN Takedown are pretty much very similar to the ones we're going to be fighting in the Star 3000. So we took it in here and this build straight out melts. Now, for some reason, you do not have an Amara, but you have a Flak, a Saint, and a Mose. I have builds for them as well, so definitely do check them out. But this build is just a melting machine, guys. It just grasps onto everything, destroys every single enemy that's in their way. And what's cool about this is when it grasps the enemy, you're also able to do damage to the other enemies surrounding you. So it's a really good effective build for crowd control, mobbing, and of course melting bosses. But we'll get into that a little bit later in the video when we explore our gear. But before we get started and I show you the build, I do want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away one free copy of Borderlands 3 for the system of your choice. To enter and participate, super easy. All you gotta do is drop a comment on this video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment why you want to win Borderlands 3, and good luck to everyone that's participating. Alright, so now let's dive into our skill trees. So we're going to be taking a couple stuff from Fist of the Element. We're going to be doing one thing from Mystical Assault, and then we're going to be doing a couple more stuff from Brawler. And we'll get started with Brawler. We're already here. We might as well get started with Brawler. So we are going to start with Brawler, and we're going to be dumping 5 points into Root to Rise. Basically, what this is going to do, it's just going to increase our max health, so giving us the maximum amount of health we're able to get from here. So really good, effective point. Now, this one, guys, don't mind it. This is coming in from my class mod. We're not going to be dumping any points into Clarity, but we are going to be picking it up to our class mod. Now, we are going to be dumping 3 points into Personal Space. Personal Space is actually pretty good because it's going to give us a bonus damage whenever we shoot our weapon. And the way we apply this bonus damage is by the closer we are to the enemy, the higher the bonus damage is. So as you guys noticed in my little playthrough, my little intro video where you guys showed me playing with this, I was getting very up close to the enemies. So the closer we are, the more damage we're going to be dealing. So it's very important you keep in mind, get close and don't be scared because we're going to be killing enemies left and right. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Helping Hand. Now, Helping Hand is actually pretty good because what it does is after we use our action skill, Amara arms remain active and grants her damage reduction. And since we are going to be proccing our action skill quite often, this is going to be proccing quite a lot as well. We're also going to be dumping a total of 3 points into Mindfulness. What this does is whenever we take damage, we're going to gain a stack of Mindfulness, and Mindfulness is going to give us shield regeneration, delay, and movement speed. The movement speed here is amazing because once we get that damage, we're just going to be running around like Speedy Gonzalez. Next, we're going to be dumping a total of 4 points onto One with Nature, and this is going to give us max health, which is going to get increased to once again, so maximizing our health, and elemental damage resistance to our action skill element. So depending whatever we have picked up, if we have corrosive, if we have incinerary, fire, or shock, whatever we have equipped, it's going to give us resistance to that element. Preferably for MALIWAN, you're going to want to go with corrosive, or you're going to want to go with shock. We might as well just pick up the corrosive as we're here, because that's kind of the elements that you're going to be getting hit by the most. So you want to make sure you're resistant to that. The last but not least, guys, we're going to be picking up is Guardian Angel. What this is going to allow us to do is if we ever go down, we'll be able to come back from heaven and we'll be back up and alive. This one actually doesn't really proc that much because we won't be going down too much, but you always want to have that extra life just in case for some reason you get blindsided and you end up going down. You'll be able to come back to life without a problem. So that pretty much covers the Brawler tree. Now let's make our way into the Fist of the Element tree. Now for the Fist of the Element tree, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Anima, and it's going to put us all the way up to 7. So my stats are a little bit pat. It's plus 28 effective damage, and we're getting the action skill status effect damage plus 56. That's the main reason we want to tap into this. One thing I did want to mention, and I forgot to mention it in the beginning of my video, if you guys want me to share this build, help me out by getting 200 likes. If we get 200 likes on this video, I will be uploading the save file on my Discord server. So make sure you guys join the Discord server and hit that like button so we can share this with you guys. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 3 points into steady hand. What this is going to do, it's going to increase our weapon handling and our accuracy. Now, theoretically speaking, I would probably dump 1 point here due to our class mod, and then I would go with 2 more points on the infusion to convert a portion of the damage dealt by Amara's weapon into her action skill element, just so we could get that, corrosive damage going. Now, the reason I didn't dump 1 point here and then 2 here was because I wanted to make the build, just in case you don't have the stuff I have, where it's still very potent, So if you do have my build, you would put 1 point here, and then you would put 2 points here. Okay, just a quick reference point. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Tempest. And Tempest, what's going to do, it's Amara deals increased elemental damage. Shock damage is further increased. So our elemental damage that we're going to be doing is going to get increased. And you're going to see how that's going to be benefiting a lot based on the weapons we have. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 2 points into Wildfire. Whenever Amara applies a status effect to an enemy, it has a chance to spread to nearby enemies. This is actually pretty good because since we're going to be face grasping, this its status effect is going to get applied to a ton of enemies, just because we are going to be using a weapon that's going to be applying a lot of that. So next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 1 point into Dread. Once again, Amara's gun damage is increased for a few seconds after an enemy is grasped. This is going to tie in perfectly with this one and with the weapon we're using. Then we're going to go down here and we're going to get 3 points from Indiscriminate. What this is going to do, it's going to ricochet stuff off the people we're shooting. So it's really cool. You want to make sure you're shooting the enemy. In addition to shooting the enemy, the bullets are going to be bouncing off, causing a lot of damage. And it's also going to increase the target that it's currently affected by face grasp and stillness of mind. So it's a really good one to pick up. Then we're going to be picking up 1 point into Deep Well. It's just going to increase the magazine size with elemental weapons. Really important, but not a requirement at the current moment. If you guys want to pick this one up, you're more than welcome to. If not, then you would put 2 here and 2 here. Okay, so if you don't want to pick this one up, you just go with 2 on steady hand and 2 on infusion, and you guys should be good to go. So with the stuff that I currently have equipped, you would go 2 here and 2 here and skip this one right here. Okay, just letting you guys know. And last but not least, guys, we're also going to be picking up 2 from here, but this is coming from within our class mod. So don't put any points here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to dump in 5 points into Sustainment, and that's going to go ahead and give us that Amara gains lifesteal whenever she deals elemental damage with her weapon. Really important to keep that survivability aspect of it. And then the next point we're going to be dumping is Forceful Expression. Amara gun deals bonus elemental damage based on her action skill element. So since we are going with corrosive, we're going to be dealing that as well. Remember, you're able to switch from corrosive. You don't have to use corrosive. You could go with, depending if Maliwan has a lot of yellows, then you could go corrosive. If you want to, if they have a lot of enemies with shock, you could go with shock. As you guys already know pretty much what to go with. And that pretty much is for the Fist of the Elements. Since you guys are wondering, we still have 1 more point. What are we going to be doing with that particular point? Now, before I show you guys what you want to do with that point, I just want to make sure you guys understand, if you have the items that I have on my build, you are going to change this tree just the following way. So 2 points here, 2 points here, and you're going to not get a point here. Okay, just letting you guys know. This is just, if you don't have the stuff I have, then you're going to go with the skill tree the way I have it set up right now. The last point, guys, we're going to be dumping is on here, which is Do Harm. This is going to let us pick up the rush stack, and it's very important because it's going to give us action skill damage, and we're going to be getting more damage when we're doing that. So with all that being said, guys, now it's time for us to take a look at our gear. So for our gear, guys, we are running my favorite one, which is the Maggie. And the Maggie I'm currently running, it says, while terrified, deal 50% bonus cryo damage. This is an extreme requirement for this build. I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys already have this Maggie. And just double check that you guys have it and you have that anointment, while terrified, deal bonus damage. The other weapon we're going to be using, which is going to help us clear a ton of enemies, is the Brainstormer. Now, the cool thing about this Brainstormer is that we have the while terrified, deal 50% bonus cryo damage. So we're going to want to make sure that we use this correctly, which I'll explain after I go through the gear. What is the most effective way to do this? And because Slaughter Star 3000 is a little bit different than what we could expect of Maliwan. In Slaughter Star 3000, we're getting hit by, skulls, and that tear is getting applied. But I'm going to tell you guys how you're going to be applying the tear without the skulls, and how you actually want to use this weapon. The next weapon we're going to be using is the Crossroad, and this one comes with a really good anointment on action skill. And the next 2 magazines will have 50% additional bonus corrosive damage. This is actually really, really good, and you want to make sure you're using this one after you're done shooting these two weapons. All right, so that's where you're going to swap to. Now, this is the build for mobbing. If you are shooting a boss and the boss is a yellow bar, you're going to want to make sure you put the Layuda in here with the Saint Anointment. Or you can find one that says, after action skill end, gain an additional 100% bonus. That's another really good anointment. But you want to get something that gives you extra damage when the action skill has ended, as we're able to proc our action skill very frequently. So do keep that in mind. If you're shooting a boss, you want to go with the Layuda or a rocket launcher. And that should give you guys a big boost to take out the enemy. Alright, so now let's dive in and take a look at our gear. So we're going to be using for our shield the Transformer, and this one is with the Anointment. While terrified, gain increased damage and fire rate. The more terror you have, the higher the bonus. So really important to be picking this one up. It's going to be pretty much tie the whole build together. I've tried this build without this Anointment, and it still does a lot of damage. But with this one, it does even more damage. So you want to make sure you have this one. You could go with the Namel regen one or a health regen one as well. But if you want to get the maximum amount of damage, then you want to go with this one. Now, as far as our class mod, we're going with the Face Circer. And the cool thing about this one is that we're picking up 25 weapon reload speed. Since we are using the Maggie, we're going to be reloading that really fast. We're getting plus 10 weapon damage for Jacob's weapon. So it's going to get a stack of plus 10. And we're getting a plus 45 stack of critical damage, which we are getting a ton with the weapon. So theoretically, it's 55 base damage that we're getting with our Maggie, as long as we're getting crit hits. Next up, guys, for our artifact, we're using the Icebreaker Idol. And we're getting here is the plus 40 magazine size. So it's going to increase our magazine size for all the weapons we have. It's going to give us that plus 27 cryo efficiency. If you don't have this one, you could go with this one as well, which is the Icebreaker Safeguard, which gives us a plus 16 cryo damage. In addition to that, guys, you could also go with this grenade, which is going to be really important for this build. This is going to allow you to control a ton amount of enemies. It's going to let you keep them at bay because it's going to freeze them in place. And we are also picking up the main reason here is the Anointment on action skill and apply terror to yourself every 5 seconds for the next 18 seconds. So you're going to be getting that terror effect very frequently ever since the time your action skill ends. So how do you want to play with this build? Alright, so the way you want to play with this build is the following. Let's say that the skulls do not exist in the game and they're not going to exist in the MALIWAN Takedown. What you want to do is grasp the ground, and when you grasp the ground, it's going to automatically think that you're doing your action skill. But what's going to happen is it's going to apply that terror effect for you, but you're still going to have the grasp available. So when you see a ton of enemies gathered around, you're going to grasp the ground. Then you're going to actually grasp the enemy, switch over to your Brainstormer, shoot that enemy that's grasped, and it's going to pretty much obliterate every other person that's just around the area. After that, you're going to want to switch over to your corrosive weapon, which is the crossbow, and shoot the enemy. Remember, you're going to be able to get that nice extra bonus damage with 2 magazines of this one. And it's going to give you a lot of damage. After you're done shooting those 2 mags, switch over to your Maggie and clear the rest of the floor. It's a really easy concept, guys, and it's something that's going to be very beneficial. If you feel like there's still too many ads after you grasped and did everything, just lob a grenade. It'll freeze everybody in place, and you guys are going to be able to go. Now, the only thing that's going to change is when you're fighting a boss, you just want to make sure that you have, instead of the crossbows, you have the Layuda. The Layuda is going to be doing a ton of damage as well. I do have that in my save as well, so we are able to get this video to 200 likes. You guys will be able to get those weapons as well. And there you guys have it. That is the claw build for Amara. Now, if you are playing as Flag St. Mo's, I do have builds for them, so definitely do check those out because they are as powerful as this one and really good for those characters. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.